Hi there, this is Elisa, Wellness Warrior Princess, and today I wanted to share with you more about my experience with orthorexia and coming from a place of focusing on the transformation photo, which you see here, and transitioning, well, you'll see in my blog if you're on my blog, and to where I am today with coming to that point. So, I personally, if you don't know my story, I've always struggled with weight loss and have been told and conditioned by just growing up in our westernized culture what we believe beauty is. I've always been outside the norm, overweight, high in the BMI, even though BMI is a bunch of bullcrap. But it starts to warp your brain into thinking that you are the outlier and you need to conform. It's very natural. I want you to know that if you do struggle with feeling like you are constantly trying to lose weight or you are overweight or you are outside the norm and you want to be in the norm, you want to not struggle with, like we have this idea that one day I will be the desired, especially for women, desired one, that people will come flocking to me. Jeans will be easy to put on. Oh, there's my dog. And I will look beautiful and look beautiful at the beach, and have a clear skin and things like that. And so I've been conditioned from a really early age, since at least 8. Like, I remember the doctor told me, like, you need to lose weight. You can't gain any more weight. You need to let your body grow and not lose any weight. And then, I don't know, it just warps you. And you think you're like the fat one. You can't do crap, and it's harder to do with certain exercise. And it's harder to do, to even want to try to run because kids would make fun of me and stuff for trying to run. And I'm doing certain sports because I was just not good at it. And, or like, because my coordination kind of sucks in some respects. But anyway, so I've just been conditioned from a very early age to of being the outlier, and it's very normal for our brain to protect ourselves, to want us to conform to the pack because it's safer in packs. So it's a natural thing, and it's your body and your brain just trying to protect you from being ostracized and basically getting eaten by a mountain lion in survival mode. But anyway, so I've always been on this constant journey of searching in the back of my head for better health, for weight loss. I've been in Weight Watchers when I was younger, in middle school, and so I've always had this in the back of my head that I had to constantly figure out ways to lose weight because I wasn't always able to, and I didn't enjoy certain exercises and didn't feel like I could do them. And about a year ago, I found a programming that did actually work for me to lose weight and to be at a point where I thought I was more fit and athletic, and a place that I've never been in my life, which was kind of cool. But then it it fed off of my pursuit for health, of not only like fitness and weight loss and gaining maybe perhaps the athletic toned six-pack body, that's fitspiration body, that maybe I could get something like that. I never thought it could. So like the finding a program that actually like helped me lose weight, um I don't know, it just triggered like I can do this, I could get there, instead of thinking I couldn't get there. But also I just wanted to find better health for clear skin because I struggled with acne, and also better and more consistent digestion. So I've been on this journey of just trying to find the thing that works for me, and weight loss has always been in the back of my head. And then through this journey of figuring out the programming that actually did give me results, which you see in the photo in my blog, of 30-pound weight loss. And but it triggered orthorexia. It triggered a lot of OCD tendencies that I do have. My neurosis is perfectionism. As you can see, I talk about recovering perfectionists. And that perfectionism ultimately leads to self-abuse. And for I guess my choice of self-abuse is being a workaholic slash orthorexia, and controlling it was like, it's a gray area because orthorexia is now just coming up to the front because of what we think of eating disorders is the extremes of binging and throwing up, purging, or and that's bulimia, or anorexia where you're starving yourself and you are completely starved and skinny. And because I don't look like that, and because I was getting fitter um, in my body, and I'm getting compliments and like that, like dopamine drops of when you are like achieving what is more of a norm and what is the desired effect, you uh, don't see it. You don't see orthorexia as much, and like it's not as prevalent because it's just not as known in our culture yet, and it's becoming known. And I think a lot of us really do struggle with this, or something like or have orthorexic tendencies to obsess on healthy eating and healthy, clean things, being in control of what you consume, but also that associates with exercise addiction and wanting to manipulate your body and by having to work out. And it also is very closely assimilated with body dysmorphia. And I, through losing 30 pounds, though, I've come to realize how much I need healing in my life of body image in terms of how I view exercise and movement with myself, how much I obsess about food and the whole process of it, of planning food. And I enjoyed my perfectionist self enjoyed the process of being able to focus all my control energy into what I put into my body, how I planned it, what my meal plans were, even though it was not to an extent that caused me to starve, but it started to make me uh, so I just want to like share what it does. It I couldn't stop seeing my plates in macronutrient ratios. I couldn't stop thinking about, oh, this is my protein quota for the day, or like, where does it lie? I couldn't stop meal planning to focus on like school. Um, I had to get my workouts in, and that started becoming a fear of mine. If I stopped doing a certain type of workout, that I would gain my weight back. And so things began to come out of fear, and then I started to eliminate a lot of things and make myself uber pure and clean, more really paleo, because it was working in terms of overall, in terms of the effect on my body physically to lean out, but it disrupted my digestion. I couldn't go out to eat with my boyfriend or family. I would shut down at restaurants. I got really scared and fearful, and it would shut down because it was too expensive, and I knew I could make the food cleaner and cheaper. And and then if I couldn't control it, it made me shut down and withdraw into social situations because I couldn't control it, and I wanted to control this because I felt like, especially in this period of my life, I've been doing so many different things of internship, grad school, figuring out relationships, and building an online wellness business, and all those stressors. A lot of them I can't control, especially like once grad school's done and things like that. Like, I can't control what's going to happen with my career necessarily, but I could control this. And I started to identify with it, and it became everything. I couldn't stop thinking about food. I kept looking at the clock every, like, okay, in 2 hours I can eat this. I'm going to eat this because it fits within this blah, 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 blah. And there's a whole process. So I kept thinking about it. I couldn't stop it. And I still do. Not as much right now. Because I'm actively taking steps to not do what my brain is telling me, that little voice in my head telling me what I need to do. I'm taking actual action steps to go the other side to find balance. So in terms of like exercise, like I had been doing a certain protocol and program because it was fat burning, and it gave me the more physical results that I deemed it was the norm of what people want to achieve, right? And so I'm actively doing restorative things, movement that's enjoyable, different dance sort of things, or just not, just going on walks with the dogs, and being okay with not having to push myself, because I am a pusher already, and it's really hard for me to relax into myself and my body and be okay with. I've probably gained, I don't know, 15 pounds since then, just kind of finding the medium ground again and being comfortable wherever I am, because even though I lost 30 pounds, I was still body dysmorphic on the days, especially I was bloated. And then I would just like try to like, and I'd still binge. And even though it was like mostly unhealthy foods, but sometimes it wasn't healthy foods, but the act of that I needed to binge is an indicator that something's still off and that I'm restricting myself to where the point of like I had to binge, or like, I had to make up for this uber restriction on my life in terms of exercise and food. So if you are feeling like you have to always control your eating, you're always feeling like you're on a diet, you need to be on a diet, you need to detox, you need to do something, or you have to do certain movements and work out to earn your food, or to achieve a certain look with your body because you know it manipulates your body in a certain way, or you can't stop thinking about food or making food or planning food, like the whole process, or you're worried about the purity of food, and you need to be in control of what you're consuming and you can't go out. There's a difference if you have a food allergy, like that's really serious, and the control. If you are fear-based and controlling, you might be having orthorexic tendencies, dabbling into exercise addiction, dabbling into body dysmorphia, and I would love for you to have that conversation with yourself and build that awareness of what is actually happening with you. And if that is happening, you can, and you're getting triggered by seeing before and after photos, like I'm seeing of myself, like that's a trigger for me, like, oh, I need to go back, because I'm not at my after photo anymore. It's kind of like what happens after the transformation for me. And I'm like, that's what I'm realizing is I need to find the middle ground. And we are in a world of a lot of, we're in a world that really wants health, and we really especially want weight loss. And to achieve this optimum health, the clearest skin, the whitest teeth, the leanest body, the bulkiest, strongest body, it's like, why are we, and I am that way. I am. And I'm still like, I can't stop thinking about it. And because it's really intriguing to me. I really enjoy learning about the body and stuff like that. So it gets really twisted for me. But I would love for you to think about, if you're having this awareness of what your triggers are, to put away the triggers or to fight against them in the opposite direction for a little bit. If you want to binge out on a nut butter and you're just stopping yourself, take a few days, eat the nut butters. Gain a couple pounds if you got to. Get that craving out. Stop restricting yourself. Have it in your refrigerator and enjoy it. Unless it's bad, unless you're like having a bad allergy, or if you need to do a certain workout, don't do it. Do something completely restorative or opposite and see how you react to it. And it's not easy. It is really hard to you feel like you're letting yourself go. And like, what's going to happen? A lot of anxiety will rise up, and you maybe get a little softer, but you're not going to probably get obese. And it's going to be okay. And that's what I try to teach in my yoga classes. But we are in almost an epidemic of health neuroses. Like, we are trying to achieve this optimum health all the time. And what about what's really more impactful in the world in some ways? To me, I have been in a year of just focusing on what to help people was through weight loss. And in some ways it did, because for those that haven't been in a world of orthorexia or constantly being on something regimented, it is helpful for programming because it can build structure for those that need the structure. But if you come from a diet background of chronic dieting like me, you're a perfectionist and you realize you're having these tendencies to obsess about what you consume and how you move your body, I urge you to reframe your mindset. For a while, go the opposite direction just to find a middle ground, but to think about what comes after the photo, after that transformation, because it's just working on a symptom of weight loss, if that was your goal. That's just a symptom of what's going on in your life and possibly in the world. Because in my head, the world is just saying there's always this, in the westernized civilization, there is an obesity epidemic. We have to fight the disease, and it's like, well, let's get deeper than that. So there's all these supplements, there's workout programs, to deal with the symptom of gain or loss or whatever, diabetes. But what is the deeper fact here? And to me, that means the world needs healing more than to fix the symptom. And that's just something we like to do. In our culture, we just want to fix the symptoms. We don't want to delve into the deep shit of our lives. Sorry, Mom, if you're watching this. But because that's hard, it hurts. And a lot of what's going on internally is just becomes a reflection on the outer layer of your body. It doesn't have to be positive or negative. It's just what is. And so that's what I'm a proponent for. It's not about achieving optimum health. It is about finding balance, enjoying life, thinking about your legacy, how you want to impact the world, what changes you want to make. How do you want to serve the world? Do you maybe go to a homeless shelter? Why obsess about what's on your freaking plate and be grateful that you have some food, and go and help a homeless person and serve at a homeless shelter, or dog walking, like things like that. Like what do you freaking enjoy? And I forgot. I really forgot. And you want to see my puppy? Distraction. She's sleeping. But thinking about how you want to impact the world, your legacy that is outside of trying to achieve the perfect digestion, because it's never going to happen. The perfect clear skin that you see in commercials, it's not going to happen. Perfection's never going to happen. We're never going to be that lean thing that you see in marketing all the time. Some bodies will. Cool. That's just what's accepted in the norm for right now. And that's okay. They're beautiful too. We're all awesome. We're imperfect. But why do we have to obsess about being so freaking healthy all the time? And to me, health is just figuring out the nourishment that works for you, physically, mentally, emotionally, and not being obsessed about it. Because remember, mental health is just as important as your physical health. And if your mental health is getting impacted by trying to achieve the perfect physical health, that's not healthy. And that's where the balance between, for me, like orthorexia and my weight loss transformation is coming into play. And my mental health was beginning to become wasted, and it was not serving relationships. I didn't actually do the things I wanted to do because I just had to stay within the protocol. And I liked the safety of my protocol. And so I encourage you, those that have similar feelings right now, go the opposite direction and think about how you want to live life. And do it. Just freaking do it. Want to make a garden? Don't talk about it. Make a garden. You want to adopt a puppy? Don't talk about get a freaking puppy. Well, if it works. But, things like that, and getting out of that head. And if it's because you're getting triggered from media and your Instagram feeds or your Facebook feeds, block. You have to take the action steps to be willing to block. But before the action steps, you have to build the awareness of what's really going on and being willing to take those steps. I know this is long, but this is my blog. So thanks for taking a watch and reading through and supporting me. And I hope this helps support you in some way to at least build the awareness and to take a deeper look inside. All right, ciao for now.